whether vaccination status played into NFL roster cuts. It's a point of contention with the NFLPA. It's a focus in Jacksonville with Urban Meyer saying it certainly was in consideration. And then the team then releasing a statement afterwards saying no player was released because they were vaccinated or weren't vaccinated. Mina Kimes, around the horn to you. How do you hear that? What is perception here and what is reality?
Well, let's start with reality. Bill talked about players, coaches who are vaccinated testing positive. The NFL has released the numbers on this just in the month of August, and those numbers show that the people, players, again, staffers, who are unvaccinated are 7 times more likely to test positive. Bill Belichick. And that reflects society, right? We know if you get the shot, you're less likely to get infected and you're significantly less likely to get seriously ill. Another fact is that the NFL Players Association and the league agreed before the season that unvaccinated players who test positive have to miss 10 days. And that means they're probably going to miss a game, right? And so if they are vaccinated and test positive, you can get back in a lot quicker with a couple of negative tests in 24 hours. That, everything I just said, is the reality of the situation. And because that, we know that what Urban Meyer said is the truth. He just wasn't supposed to say it, but he communicated something that you're hearing from reporters around the league, players, coaches, GMs. Everyone is saying, we know if you're unvaccinated, it inhibits your availability. I don't doubt that Bill Belichick is being honest when he says they released Cam for other reasons. I think other reasons played a bigger role. But his other statement about, vaccinated players, coaches, whatever, testing positive, well, it's simply misleading and I think unhelpful given the situation.
So then, to get to the crux of the NFLPA investigation into Jacksonville and Urban Meyer's comments here, we know how the NFL incentivized getting a vaccine. What do you think is going to play out with this investigation?
I think there'll probably be some sort of slap on the wrist. And the PA is just doing their job, which is representing the players based on the agreements that they've made for the season. They do want the players to get vaccinated, but they also have to defend them. And this comes up all the time with the Players Association in every issue. Again, with Urban Meyer, he told the truth. His only mistake was saying it in public. And when he was a college coach, he didn't have to deal with the Players Association. Now he does.
We'll bring Israel Gutierrez in here.
You know what else is reality, Tony, is that most football coaches I know aren't trying to save the world. They're not trying to solve the pandemic. They're just trying to get through their football season. And based on this rules, because of this virus, because of this pandemic, there are rules in place that make it easier for an unvaccinated player to miss a game. That's it. That's pretty much all they're thinking. And so you check the right box when it says, hey, this is why you're getting released. But in your mind, it's just, hey, we're rolling the dice here. We have better odds of keeping our full roster with vaccinated players. So if there's a decision that's very close, you make that. You just don't make the mistake, as Mina said, of Urban saying it out loud.
Monica McNutt.
I mean, I'm kind of asleep on this, Tony. Like, literally could be on my pillow asleep because this is such a duh moment to me. If the PA really wanted to do something, then perhaps there's a world in which they worked on a different set of protocols for unvaccinated guys before we got to this point. But to act as if coaches are not acknowledging availability being the best availability, and Mina mentioned the 10 plus the 3 days for non-vaccinated folks in terms of going through another protocol, it's 13 total days. Come on, man. I can't do anything with you if I can't put you on the field. This is a no-brainer.
And Frank Isola.
I do like Urban Meyer, first year as an NFL head coach, saying the out loud part out loud. You're not supposed to say that that's what you're factoring in, but you know that the statement covers them because they're saying, well, hang on a second. We do have unvaccinated players on the roster. So that, to me, with the union, they're not going to get in trouble. Bill Belichick handled it the right way. You ask him the question, what do you think he's going to say? Well, kind of. We did factor it in. Of course he's going to say no. And I'm sure it was a small factor, but we know that Bill Belichick's number one factor is winning. And he must think that Zach Jones gives him the best chance of winning. Let's remember, they had to make a quarterback decision before their first ever Super Bowl win. It was between Drew Bledsoe and Tom Brady because Bledsoe replaced him in the AFC Championship game. So Bill Belichick has been down this road before. Everything factors into it. Number one is winning.
But he answered the question. He took some time, but then he went back at it on his own volition, right, Frank? And Mina, let me ask you this. When you heard Belichick do that, he was speaking about his team, but the way he said it applied basically to the virus in general in the world, right?
Yeah, I mean, it is true. You can get a breakthrough infection if you're vaccinated, but it's also true that you're significantly less likely to get infected or get sick. And frankly, I don't know why he felt the need to bring up the possibility of a breakthrough infection, because it doesn't apply to the situation with Cam Newton and it doesn't apply to the NFL.
And Frank, I think the phrase is, you said the quiet part out loud.
Quiet part out
I know
loud,
quiet
but it's
does not apply to you in any way. It's not even in your vocabulary.
It's a play on words. Thanks for going along with it.
We'll move on.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.